Hello everyone and welcome to episode 172 of the Xbox Hall Gamer Podcast. This week I'm joined by Kia.
Hello everybody.
And Cameron.
And Skinny Cameron now.
Skinny Cameron, yeah, so even less Cameron than there was the previous weeks.
Scamron?
Yeah, half the amount of Cameron.
Yep. Scamron likely, yep. This week, big fucking surprise, we're going to talk about some of the leaks and rumors and all the other bits and pieces coming into Summer Games Fest and the Xbox Showcase and all the stuff that we're recording too early to actually know about.
Yeah.
As always...
Sony trying to steal Nintendo's thunder.
Yes, of course, as always.
Yes.
Yeah, good luck with that. As always, we do this show live on Twitch. Xbox Hall of Games is the place to find us. Come say hi, hang out in the chat, shit post, the usual bits and pieces. We've got a few fun people in here this week. We've got Bulbasaur's here. We've got Red Ninja Dan. We got Left for Legacy. So yeah, feel free to ask questions and stuff. Give you comments. We'll try and shout you out on the show as they come up. Obviously, we're recording the podcast, so we'll try and balance it out as much as we can. But yeah, how you guys been? Kia, you've been a bit sick over the last few days, right?
I've been very sick, yes. So, like, throat virally kind of stuff going around, and it's just floored me for a few days. But I got a good few days of solitude. Basically, just shut out all of the online, like, party chat stuff and just played, like, by myself. So it was actually kind of refreshing, weirdly, because I don't get to do that very often. So,
oh, nice. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about what we've been playing a little bit then. Cameron, how are you doing?
I've been fighting with my internet provider.
Well, you live in Australia, so I imagine that's probably a losing battle.
I can go on a whole tangent about this.
No, you know, we can save that for the outtakes.
It's December.
We can. Yeah.
Other than that, I've been okay.
Yeah, but the Australian broadband network and all of its flaws, the whole fucking symposium on it. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. You know, just working away.
We just assume.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't I be doing great? You know, if I'm not, you'll fucking hear about it. So,
male conversation is if you're not like. It's that one clip of the guy saying like, oh, you know, well, essentially what it was me. He's just like, oh wow, that must really suck for you. I hope it gets worse.
Yeah, that's pretty much yeah. What is that? There's that amazing clip of that guy who was like, guys, would you be there if I was going through something? And they were immediately like, fuck no. It's like absolutely. It's like no, I would actually want you to have a worse time. Yeah, absolutely not.
I wish I would be at your funeral just to know I did.
Jesus, yeah.
I have had a positive change. Anyway.
All right. Well, we don't have too much in terms of like again, news itself is actually very quiet this week for obvious reasons because everyone's waiting for their big announcements and their showcases, and a few things have leaked out, and there's been the state of play and a few other bits and pieces of like things that we know so far. But yeah, Cameron, let's just get through what you found so far and start there.
All right. Where do we want to? Do we just want to go over like the showcases that are coming in the next few days? Talk about.
Any like little newsy things that we want to knock out, and then we just get into the big convo, or?
Well, yeah. Let's start with the Sony state of play because that's already happened. We've seen these things like the details are out there, and there's a few things that are from there or quite a few things that are coming to Xbox as well. Obviously, they don't advertise that, but yeah. Let's just go through that list of. There's apparently 12 games that got showed off that are coming to Xbox, so excited about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's start with the first one. 007 First Light, which is the first Bond game in 12 years.
It's been a long time. What was the last Bond game? I mean, outside of the rework of
Bloodstone, I think.
Yeah, Bloodstone, or they did 007 Legends as well, right? Was that after or before? I can't even fucking remember. At this point.
I think they did Legends and then Legends and GoldenEye.
That's right. They redid GoldenEye with that's right.
Yeah, so they could have been the last ones. Yeah,
it's been a. I mean, I like a good James Bond game. You know, like I've always enjoyed the like the series and like all that kind of stuff they do with it. Like it's fun. I think they did also bring out GoldenEye 007, the rare version.
Yeah,
but that doesn't really count. It's a port. But yeah, I guess the last one we had 007 Legends was 2012, so it's been a long time.
So I was saying in the pre-show to you guys, I'm really excited for this because the main guy that they've got is Patrick Gibson, which is the main guy that they have for Dexter in the... What's the series called?
First Blood.
First Blood.
Yeah.
First Blood, yeah. And he's really, really good in it.
Yeah, really enjoyable.
He does a really good... He's just that right level of awkward in that. But I could 100% see him playing a Bond.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, like it's a digital version, so that's always there's like a little bit of a disconnect there where it's like not the actor playing the thing. But I mean, this game's been in the works for a long time, right? Like IO was talking about this towards when they were kind of wrapping up Hitman 3 and like their kind of like World of Assassination thing where they kind of combined it all into that ongoing thing.
Yeah.
You won, right? When we first...
Yeah, so World of Assassination was 2021, so that would have been... Yeah, so they're probably talking about this for the last like 3 or 4 years. And this is like the first we're seeing of it. I don't know if you guys watched the trailer, but I mean, it looks interesting. Like it's very much like a tonal piece. It's not like a gameplay reveal or anything like that. But
yeah,
I mean, they're showing off gameplay at Summer Games Fest, though, right?
I think so. Yeah,
sure they were.
Yeah, so I guess we'll kind of see what's actually going on there, but this is like a next year game for sure. That's 2026, probably late 2026 at this rate.
Yeah, I think IO has their own showcase, so they'll probably show off a little bit more. Maybe they just wanted to tease something out beforehand, so that they kind of have an expectation what's coming. So,
so I'm keen on this, but probably not for the first reason that comes to mind. I'm also keen on this as a comparison piece to Hitman.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too.
I want to see the difference.
Yeah. I guess the way that Bond games were made in the past, like Quantum of Solace was very much like a cover-based shooter, like first-person to third-person cover-based shooter, and the other ones were kind of similar along that vein, whereas like they were very Call of Duty coded, if that makes sense, where it's like very much, for the most part, again, there was some sneaking and stuff in there and that sort of stuff, but it was very like, we're running a Call of Duty car thing with a James Bond skin on it. And to be fair, those games were fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with them.
And they have like really nice multiplayer modes as well.
Yeah,
they're really stuck up quite well. So
yeah, exactly. And so like obviously this is a very different direction of like a third-person Hitman style game. Maybe again we don't know, but you would assume having IO working on it with the work that they've done with Hitman, all those games, that they're like, we built a fucking amazing engine, let's just keep using it. I don't know.
The thing that comes to mind for me is how we look at the Spider-Man PS5 game, Spider-Man 2, stuff like that.
Yeah,
and kind of like where that uncanny kind of over-expressive kind of thing that I don't know if people will gel with it so well once they start seeing it like in game, but like it seems expressive at least, but it's just, I think there's a little bit of uncanniness with like the way that the character's animated with where they've done the face.
Yeah, like the style is it's not like, I'm trying to think of what it doesn't really, I don't know, it almost, it's not comic book style, but it has like the lighting and kind of the color, like the saturation is like it's almost like a hyper realism kind of thing, which I think like Hitman has a bit of that too, but this is like to the next extreme, like like a lot of blur lines and I don't know. It's interesting. I'm kind of looking through the trailer right now and just kind of like thinking about what it looks like and how it's going to play, and like it definitely has a style to it that is not the first thing you think. You think James Bond and you think this. Like this is something a little different, which I'm like, cool, great. I'm more than happy to, it didn't just have to be, like I said, generic Call of Duty clone with some, shooting and all that kind of stuff. I don't know, but yeah, I'm definitely going to play this, like 100%.
Yeah.
Like, IO have got a lot of goodwill in terms of what they've done with the Hitman series. So yeah, I guess we'll see.
It's good though.
Final Fantasy Tactics, much to Brad's delight.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll play this.
I might play this. We'll see. I mean, to be fair, Final Fantasy Tactics is one of those beloved series that has just such a huge cult following because it's so different from, especially when it came out, so different from anything else that had ever been made. Around like even from a tactics genre, like the storytelling and kind of like the way that kind of game played and like it was quite an adult kind of game when in a time when games were maybe a little bit reticent to touch things like that. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, I haven't had an experience with this game at all. Really, it's just because it came out PS1 era even, and then it'd be done War of the Lion or whatever on PSP.
Yeah.
So it's had some rebuilds already. So, but this is probably the first time that we'll have the true back to the original version included. I think with the new version, whatever they do with the new sets, so you can kind of get the contrast. So
yeah, as far as I'm aware, it has like they have the Lions version in there as kind of like the base game, and then this like renewed version with the adjusted visuals and like revoiced the entire thing, so it's all voice line stuff as opposed to just in the cutscenes. I mean, yeah, it's been a long time since I played. Like I played. I actually asked Brad this when he was talking about this, like whether it has the other two tactics games, Advance and Advance 2, which apparently it doesn't. It's just the one game, which is a little bit disappointing. But this is definitely the one that everyone loves. So I probably will check this out based just on like reputation alone, because I think that's just one of those things where like it shows up on a lot of people's like must play list. So and it's never been on Xbox before, which is nice. So yeah.
And ties into so many other games, really. There's a few other big. Yeah, it's a big part of the history
for sure.
I
think like Vagrant Story and a few other games actually take place in the same world, which is always interesting.
Exactly. Yeah, Vagrant Stories is a cool one. It's got some weird armor, like clicks.
Yeah, I played that game as a kid and clearly did not understand how it worked well enough to kind of get anywhere with it, but it was a cool idea.
Yeah, I played it a few years ago and I still didn't understand. But yeah, I had to look up so much stuff for that game. I think I'm actually at the end and never finished it. But yeah, so.
All right. I don't know. What do you think, Cameron? You keen?
I'm keen, but then at the same time, I'm like, I've got so much.
Yeah, when the fuck are you going to find the time for it? Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. There's so many games that I've seen lately that I'm just like, I want to play that, but at the same time, like, man, I need more time. I was gonna say with the rest of these, do we want to just go for like the major ones, like Metal Gear Solid, Delta, Snake Eater?
I guess we can quickly touch on them, but we don't have to spend too long. Like Pragmata was the one that's been in development since like 2020 when we heard about it, and it like seemed to be like a bit of a COVID casualty.
Yeah, and they say sorry every single time they're released.
Yeah, exactly. And they have to keep changing the date on the fly. Yeah, so I guess cool. It looks like third person, really interesting like art style and kind of weird thing. You're a little girl with a spaceman and stuff. I don't know. We'll see. Capcom does interesting shit, so I'm fine for them to have a big swing at that. Romeo is a dead man. Is like Suda 51 doing his Suda 51 thing. It looks fucking ridiculous. I love the style, and like I have no idea what the game's going to be. Like it looks like it kind of has that Lollipop Chainsaw kind of styling, but with like a Dead Rising kind of thing. Does. It just looks crazy. So I mean, great, all about it. It'll probably be janky as shit, but it's coming out next year, so I'll keep an eye out for it because I just anything Suda 51 touches, I'm like I got to give it a go.
Yeah.
Silent Hill F might be a day one for me. It's coming out this year, which I actually forgot. I forgot that this was coming out this year. I remember we saw it a little while ago, and I was like, oh yeah, that's like a 2026-7 release. I was like, no, this is like September.
Is that many games coming out in September?
Yeah, September
feels like a second February.
It
like
really fucking does. Yeah. Well, it's like again, as soon as they heard that that GTA was delayed to next year, they're like, all right, quick, September, let's get fucking as soon as we can. Like, just fucking get the games in there.
Every game.
Yeah. Bloodstained is getting a sequel, which I'm so fucking excited for. Bloodstained, the Scarlet Engagement.
And it's a completely different art style, yeah?
Yeah, sort of. It's kind of it's like an evolution of the of Ritual of the Night. Like the characters look similar, but the environments look quite different. Like
Yeah.
way more vibrant, way more of the interesting like 2D, 3D change stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love the series, so I'll definitely play it. And it looks like, yeah, it's got like co-op in it from day one, so you can play 2-player, which I think is a really, really cool addition. And it looks like lots of fun little customization stuff and the kind of stuff you'd expect from Eager. You know, like Bloodstained is an absolute love letter to Symphony of the Night, and this looks like just like more of the same years. But it's been a long time since Bloodstained, so I wasn't actually expecting them to do a sequel. So good news. Yeah, you mentioned Metal Gear Solid. We kind of talked a little bit about that the other week. It's coming out August 28. Looks great.
Yep.
We won't have the Ape Escape minigame on the Xbox version, which is sad, but might be something about Bomberman. Who knows?
Yeah, right. They were adding something else. Yeah.
I'm interested to see I think it's going to be really, really good. I'm sure it'll be great, but it is one of those things where like Metal Gear Solid 3 is one of my favorite games ever made, and so I'm like, don't fuck it up. It's like yeah, modernize it a little bit, but don't mess with it too much because it is almost a perfect game in my opinion. So yeah, but I'll keep an eye on that. This Tides of Tomorrow one, I don't know. Did you guys watch the trailer for this one?
So
I
it
haven't yet.
was mixed in a little bit with some of the PSVR stuff.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if it was just a VR game. But I mean, seeing as it's coming to Xbox,
I guess not, right?
obviously it's a little bit different. So
Yeah, it's a really interesting like first-person story puzzler game, but co-op. Like you're following another player whose like ghost appears in the game with you, and like you're trying to, like you guys both make decisions, and then you see their decision while you make your decision, and you got to try and like I don't even know if you can communicate with the person that you're paired up with.
yeah, it reminded me a lot of Journey, like the on
Yeah.
the PlayStation, basically.
Yeah,
You
but obviously like
find a random person in the environment. Yeah,
I love the art style. It looks really like, bright colors and blocky, like really cartoony, interesting stuff. Made by the same people who did Road 96,
We're 96.
which means it's probably going to be a little bit ropey. But Road 96 was a very interesting game. Like I never played anything quite like that, and so I'm very interested to see what they do with this and kind of how that co-op stuff works. They've kind of teased a little bit, but not really explained it.
yeah.
There's also a Mortal Kombat collection. I don't know if any of us really care about that.
I do
I'm
purely because they're including the handheld versions. Game Boy.
Yeah, true. Yep.
Yes, man. So I have still like multiple versions of, the 3 and Ultimate and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
But getting a hold of those arcade versions and the handheld versions for Game Boy, yeah, that'd be nice to look at.
Yeah, apparently this is
Again.
like one of the first times the arcade version of 4 has been available because it's like just for some reason just been missing a lot of collections, and this is the first time that.
Yeah,
like,
and
Yeah.
which is something I've never got my hands on.
no, neither.
So,
Yeah,
mm,
yeah. I don't know if I can go back to play some of those games though. It's been a long time.
yeah.
The Digimon Time Stranger game that I know that Jake was kind of talking about several weeks ago, and we kind of saw a trailer for it. Is apparently coming to Xbox as well in October. Looks really, really cool. It's got kind of almost like a Persona style thing going on with it. The Digimon.
Yeah, these games. Yeah, they've got a really, I guess, what's the word? Like a tonally blank anime, like way of speaking in the game,
Gotcha. Yeah.
which is kind
It
of.
looks
like,
very fucking anime. I will say that. Like it doesn't like it looks more anime than Digimon as such, which I know like Digimon is an anime, but like yeah, for sure, I get what you're saying. It looks interesting, though. Apparently, like the Digimon story franchise is something that's been like quite a big series. It just hasn't not a lot of them have come to Xbox. I think we did have one of them. Maybe not.
Yeah, they might have had one listed too. So
Yeah, it's been I'm just thinking because I played Digimon Survive, which was that one that came out a few years ago, and I really did not like it that much. So, yeah, I'll keep an eye out for this. The trailer looked really good, but yeah, the dialogue is a little very much like translated from Japanese to English. But I like a turn-based RPG. I'm curious if this is like, if it's like a 200-hour completion, I'm probably good. But if it's like a nice, tight, like 30 to 40-hour game, I'll definitely give it a go. There's a Ninja Gaiden arcade game, like a 2D one, from the Blasphemous developer. So I was like, oh shit, okay, because Blasphemous is fucking incredible. But I imagine this game's gonna be way too hard for me to play. And it comes out soon, like the end of July. And then the last one is FBC Firebreak, which we've already seen a little bit of. Been quite a bit of talk around that. Coming to Game Pass day one, which I'm sure we'll get a group together and probably have a go at that. And that's coming out like in like a week or two.
So
it's good that both Xbox and PlayStation players are getting that.
Yeah.
So they're getting it for PlayStation Plus.
it is, no delays.
But
and stuff.
perfect game for it too, right? Like obviously you want to try and get people involved and get groups together quite quickly.
Yeah. So you guys, you checked out the trailers, but did you watch anything to do with the Sony Direct at all?
No, I just watched the trailers.
So I wanted to give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, knowing that it was released, that they did their state of play on the release morning of the Switch 2.
Yep.
But
what a coincidence.
I know. Unfortunately, when I got around to watching it last night, they mimicked the Nintendo way of producing the Nintendo Direct so hard that it was actually a little bit hard to watch the people that way.
Really?
Directing it. Yeah, so it was kind of disappointing. Some of the ways that they were basically, trying to put this stuff forward. But other than that, like a lot of the trailers are really good. So, and it really showed off a lot more, I guess, of what's coming up that's probably not going to be showed off so much this week. But so it was just really sad to watch a little bit, actually. So, but it was so blatantly, obviously, like.
I mean, Nintendo had a bit of, I guess, a winning formula with the Direct stuff, right? Like they stopped doing press conferences a long time ago, and now it's just Microsoft that do them.
Yeah, the only thing I don't think that they said, like, please wait for it. They didn't use that phrasing where it's like coming soon. They
didn't start snapping randomly.
It was very much along those lines though when they were trying to explain the games and stuff like that. So,
sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's the stuff we know about. What are we waiting for, Cameron?
All right. I'm going to quickly go through the summer gaming showcases over the next week.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the State of Unreal on June 3rd. We had the Mixed Summer Game Showcase on June 3rd as well as the State of Play that we just discussed. Summer Games Fest Live will start tomorrow.
Yep.
So we'll get that. We'll have Day of the Devs after that, as well as the Devolver Direct. Be pretty interesting to see what kind of satirical stuff that they do this year. IO Interactive also on June 6th, which is they're showing off Hitman First Light and Mind's Eye.
Yeah, Mind's Eye, which I completely forgot about.
So I'm not sure if you guys also hear the news about two of the executives leaving for Mind's Eye this week.
I did not.
When the game's launching in like 2 weeks.
That's not a good sign.
I missed it.
I think it was like financial advisor and legal advisor.
Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. I mean, maybe they got a really good offer.
That's not the combo you want.
You never know,
It's
right?
like just, throwing the budget out the window there a little bit,
And just being as unethical as you want to be. I mean, to be fair, maybe they got a good offer somewhere, but both of them leaving right before the game launches is kind of a little bit worrying.
Side of that, we also got Wholesome Direct. I'm so excited to watch that, Percy. Future Game Show, and then the Xbox Game Showcase and the Outer Worlds, followed by a PC Gaming Show on Monday.
Yeah, great.
All right, let's crack into the Xbox stuff.
All right, what do we got? Where?
So basically, I've just got a list of every announcement that we know that we've basically had updates on already that we, should be that we know something on, and then we'll dive into each individual studio. So games that we got updates on recently. We know that Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 Remake is going to come July 11th. We know that Gears of War Reloaded is going to come out August 26th, and that's going to hit both platforms.
And that's going to be a free upgrade for people who own
the Ultimate Edition.
Yeah, the Ultimate Edition,
right?
yeah.
Ninja Gaiden 4 is coming out 2025. Outer Worlds 2 is coming out 2025, which is the second half of the showcase.
I'm assuming they'll reveal the date at that show, like at that second half of the showcase, right? Like it would make perfect sense for them to be like, "Hey, it's coming out. Here's a bunch of stuff you can look forward to."
I still don't think that Outer Worlds 2 was the original. I think Fable got.
I'm sure it was Fable. Like I'm almost certain Fable is probably a better fit for that, but.
Because I don't know if it was Skill Up or somebody else I was watching the other day, but they've already done like a 15-minute dive into Outer Worlds 2 on the IGN channel.
Right.
So they've already planned some external marketing for that. So like it kind of, I'm sure there's plenty to say about a game like the Outer Worlds 2, but
yeah, and like it's.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Franchise.
I was gonna say I am interested in the Outer Worlds 2. Like I really enjoyed the first game, and so like I definitely want to give this one a shout. And it looks like
more keen for Fable?
I definitely more keen for Fable because I think Fable is more of a like unknown quantity at this point. Like it's been so long since we've had a Fable game, and they've been working on it for so long and teasing it for so long, and like it was rumored for so long that I'm just like I want to see what the fuck this game is. But yeah.
So like, Forza Horizon series is my favorite games. I mean, no secret to that. I'm wondering what Playground's true potential is as a studio. Like, is it going to be a case of we play Fable and we're just like, nah, mate, stick to races? That's all you're good for? Or is it going to be a case of like, yeah, give this studio more money, let them do multiple projects because this is a success story?
Yeah, my main concern is the narrative piece. I think the technology is going to be good, and from what we've seen from like the tech demo stuff they've shown off, they showed like you kicking a chicken and stuff. It looks like it plays well enough, I'm sure, but like
it looks like the humor's there.
Yeah, exactly. Like I definitely feel like they've got the sort of Britishisms of the humor there. It really is just down to like, what's the narrative hook? Is it going to pull me through this game? What's the promise? Because you don't have a Peter Molyneux out there anymore claiming that you're going to plant an acorn and then you come back to a fucking full-grown tree and all that shit. So
yeah,
and like obviously that was bad because the devs would be like, oh fuck, no, now we got to build this shit. But on the other hand, like I still don't know what Fable is at this point.
Did he release his game?
Which one?
That really like convoluted.
The Albion. You mean that one?
I think so.
The one that's called Albion.
He called it Albion.
Yeah.
To be fair, I have not listened to a word that Peter Molyneux has said in a very long time. He opened this with that Tin Can Studio or whatever that was that little mining game where you got to try and be the person who mines the thing in the middle of this big block or whatever. I don't know. It was fucking clicker days.
So we talked about Fable, Clockwork Revolution, which was shown off
Masters.
2023.
Yeah, Clockwork.
Masters of Albion.
Oh, Masters of Albion. Really? Okay. Did it come out?
No, it's not out yet.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, Clockwork Revolution is one that I'm stupidly excited for. Like it definitely had when they showed the reveal trailer at 2023, like it was like cool. It looked like a sort of like Dishonored meets like BioShock time travel-y kind of fuck about game. Looked really, really cool. Coming from In Exile, so this is interesting, like a bit of a departure from what they've been working on in the past, which is the Wasteland series. And then I was like, yeah.
I was gonna say that original trailer didn't grab me.
Yeah, I remember we talked about it.
Yeah, out of everything that like I'm looking forward to, Clockwork grabs me the least. But it's another one of those cases of like what happens when you give a smaller studio a boatload of money and build them up to, give them the
chance.
Yeah.
The fact that we didn't see anything about it or even hear anything about it last year got me a little bit concerned. Because I was like, when they showed off, it was like the reveal trailer. They showed a little bit of gameplay, but it was like very much, like I said, tonal piece similar to 007. Where I was like, okay, cool. Next year they'll probably show some more about it. Maybe talk a little bit about it. Even if they don't have a release date, it might be a show it in 2024, release 2025, but we didn't see anything, which makes me think like if we do see it, which we probably I feel like we need to see it this week, that it's like a 2026 release, because otherwise they would have they'd be way out ahead of it.
2026, 2027.
Potentially 2027 as well, which is kind of a little bit worrying, but yeah.
State of Decay 3.
Well, what about Perfect Dark?
Sorry. Yeah, Perfect Dark. I mean, Perfect Dark I'm interested in, but like, I don't know. I don't get the feeling that we're going to get an update this year.
I don't know, Kerry.
I feel like this is going to be something that we get next year.
They Eidos have just released something else, or something else that's coming soon, like really soon.
Because
they've just helped with something.
Well, yeah, because it was because the initiative are the ones working on this. They've got
and they've partnered with
Crystal Dynamics.
Yes, Crystal Dynamics. Yes, that's right. So Eidos aren't really on that anymore, really, are they? So, I don't know. It's hard to say with that one. I don't know if they're doing anything else. So
it looks interesting.
Perfect Dark's 25th anniversary
this year
as well.
I mean, okay, well we know it's not coming out this year, right? There's no fucking way.
No.
So maybe they do a date reveal for next year. I don't know. I'm kind of with you though. They've been really quiet about it.
Like, they should release the Game Boy Color Perfect Dark game into that retro glasses.
Oh my god,
that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Perfect Dark feels so weird for me because it was originally shown off 22. Right?
Well, they talked about the fact they were working on it, but they showed nothing. It was literally basically like it was basically a PNG trailer. Like, don't show anything off. Just announce that this it was going to be a quadruple A studio working on this game, all that kind of stuff.
And then we got gameplay last year.
Mm-hmm. Which again, it was a complete surprise because we hadn't heard anything about it. What we'd heard was that it was in trouble and was not doing well.
It looked like it didn't look early, but it still looked early enough that they would need
more time for sure.
Bit of time.
Yeah, 100%. But it was a bit of a surprise, but it was cool. It was cool to see, and it was a really interesting kind of like, okay, cool. We got a little bit of an idea, but again, we don't know much about like what the game is. We just kind of saw it was again more of a tonal piece. We saw a little bit of gameplay, first person, going around the street shooting things, hacking things.
Yeah.
To say about Perfect Dark?
I just I'm interested in it, but I feel like we probably will see something about it. I feel like they have to talk about it if they've already shown off gameplay. Especially because it's not coming out this year. They'll want to start building hype for next year potentially.
They've still got plenty to talk about in terms of other games though. Like I'm sure there's going to be. I think Xbox has that good problem now of like they built so many of these studios up that you could easily leave out 7 studios and we're not really that concerned about it.
That's true. That's a good point.
State of Decay 3.
That's got to come out this year, right? It's like
not come out this year, but like I definitely think this is going to have a 2026 release date. It might be second half of the year.
I was going to say, is that this screams February launch to me, like end of financial year, like 2020, early 2026 for me, I think, because this game's been in development for fucking ever.
Think of the trajectory of like just State of Decay though, going from like a small studio and building up to like how many people do they have now?
Undead Labs.
Yeah, because they've also got Coalition helping them, right?
No, because Coalition are doing E-Day. They're doing Gears.
Yeah, but wasn't there some support in?
They do
60 stuff.
Yeah, they do. Coalition do tend to. That was one of the problems I have with Coalition because they lend themselves so much to other things. It's just like, why are they even making games?
Yeah.
You can't make
I
Gears
think
games.
they're only doing E-Day at this point. I think they've like pulled back because
Yeah.
they can't. I remember when they were laying people off, they cancelled a bunch of their support stuff and extra projects because they were doing apparently some new thing that just kind of got shelved for Gear to do Gears.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, State of Decay 3, like we there was a gameplay reveal last year, but like that trailer had next to no gameplay in it. And
I mean, when Phil says it's his most anticipated game from the Xbox Studios, then
yeah, I mean, like State of Decay 1, State of Decay 2 apparently was very, very good, like really good.
Yeah.
But oh yeah, I
I
feel like
State of Decay 2. I need to go back to it.
To be fair, I feel like having this game come out at the end of this year would be a nice kind of bow for what they want to do, like kind of wrapping things up. Like I could see this being a like November December game, but it's probably more likely to be a February game at this rate. I at least expect a date at the showcase, 100%, because I don't think we go another year without knowing.
All right. What's next?
Blade, which I don't think we're going to see.
No, we're not going to see anything.
Blade was a recruitment piece.
100%. And apparently it's not going super well.
Yeah.
It's been hit with a lot of delays apparently, and it's kind of gone nowhere. Yeah, like they shot it off in 2023 with that little reveal trailer of like Blade in Paris, and that was it. And we haven't heard anything about that game since then. This could be vaporware at this point.
No, it was 100% just a, hey, we're going to announce this so we can get recruitment behind it without having to worry about this leaking.
Oh yeah, I reckon. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't expect anything in terms of Blade. Be very surprised. OD, I kind of feel like the similar boat.
I don't know.
It is Kojima though. So
okay, it might only be because Kojima came out and said that what was it, Science? Which is like 6 years ago.
Yeah, but that I think that's happening after OD.
Okay.
So I think because they've got Death Stranding 2 coming out this year, and then I think it's OD, and then I think it's Science. So I think like OD we might see something, but I wouldn't bet on it. And if we do, it'll probably be like a just hey, we're still working on it thing. Like I don't think we get a date or anything.
I love Kojima, but I don't want Kojima come out on stage and talk about this and not show us anything again.
Yeah, fair. That's
like, whoa, Kojima, thank you for existing. Nah, yeah. Like, okay.
I love Kojima, but
like he doesn't classify as a game reveal.
No, he does not. He does not. I mean, it would be cool to see something about it, hear some more about it. Like, I don't think we get news, but maybe we get because again, like they just said, hey, we're working on it, and that was it. Like, we haven't seen anything about this game because it didn't exist. It was basically just an agreement that Microsoft had with them. Outside of that leak stuff that came out, a few years ago.
Yeah.
You know, Microsoft is struggling to show stuff off when they're just getting a famous developer on stage.
They just see a video of Kojima going, "Yeah, I'm working on a game for Microsoft. Thanks for the money, guys. Catch you later." Like, sure, all right.
Gears of War E-Day, which I'm interested in Gears of War because obviously, we've had Nick on in the past, and Nick had that rumor about the Gears of War collection.
Yeah.
And then we've had the Gears of War Reloaded.
Yeah.
So does that count as that collection? Like that's confusion around that.
I don't know.
That was that. It's going to be a progressive thing where they might.
They make it. They do a Reloaded 2, Reloaded 3 if the first one does well enough, right?
I think they definitely need Reloaded for context for E-Day.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
And for all that sweet Sony money.
Well, yeah, exactly, right? If they're going to make it multi-platform, they might as well redo it and sell it again. That actually does make quite a bit of sense, considering how well Xbox games have been selling on PlayStation recently. Do we think E-Day is this year? The rumors are that it is, but
I think it has the potential to be this year, but because of how I mean, because of all these games coming out too, I wouldn't be surprised if Xbox goes, well, we want to keep one a little bit longer.
That's
Spread
fair.
them out a little. It could go either way. They could just be like, I'm feeling with how Game Pass has been this year, we've just been flogged with like
we
everything.
have been, but then if you think about like what's coming up for Microsoft in particular,
I'd say if we get a bunch of announcements of stuff that we have no idea about, we might be looking at a Gears release because they have that other stuff to fall back on later on. But if not, they might have to push it.
It does feel like they've got a decent lineup for 2026 already.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering if they're going to try and push the EA out this year to have kind of something.
If you're looking at the 1 a quarter kind of thing, I mean, what are we looking at in terms of release date? So
like August, maybe.
Because Reloaded is in August. Right?
That's true. Yeah, true. So they probably don't want to cannibalize it. Yeah.
So I mean, like, and if it's just going to be the story and stuff, what if they whip that out, give people enough time to play it, and then do like a November release?
Well, I think November release is still pretty, like, for one studio, it's still pretty like close together. I would think 2026, like, this is the Feb game then.
Yeah, that could be. I could definitely see that. Yeah, like that first quarter game for 2026.
Give them enough time, like with the multi-platform strategy and all that. Give them enough time as a studio to fully support both titles independently.
They'll also want to avoid COD, right? And like because they'll have a new COD this year, and so they also like there's a lot of crossover with that audience, I imagine.
And I with the 2 Gears stuff, if they do one like before financial year and then after financial year, they'll have something already on the table.
True.
As well if they push it a little bit further back. So
yeah.
Let's get into the ones that we haven't seen in a while. So Everwild.
It
don't exist.
It does not exist at this point. Like it like that is actual vaporware. There's no like.
I feel like Rare had every intention of letting it exist, but now it's kind of just being one of those things of as Sea of Thieves has continued to grow.
Kind of hard to justify.
I feel like this is a rainy day idea.
To be fair, like I wouldn't be surprised if Rare came up with something completely different and we just never hear about Everwild ever again. Like it wouldn't surprise me if they were like, yeah, we just moved on to a different project because this one didn't work out.
Like the Sony one that got shown up like 8 years ago. I'm trying to think what.
You think of like Agent?
Yeah, that's it. Agent.
Oh, trust me, I got a memory like a steel trap for games that never fucking came out. Agent. Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, they showed off a fucking logo over it, and they said because that was what there was a partnership with was that a partnership with the GTA guys or something? There was something going. I'm trying to remember.
I think it was Rockstar.
Right, it was Rockstar. I think it was Rockstar doing something, right? Yeah, it just didn't end up happening. All right, what else?
Yeah, got reminded of that the other day. Elder Scrolls 6, which I was like, no way. I was watching Matty Plays, and I was thinking, like, no way in hell would they do anything regarding Elder Scrolls 6. This was revealed back in 2018.
Okay.
This was also potentially a leaked game on that document with all the other Fallout stuff.
That's true.
Which is 2 years behind its release dates.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Kia, I want to get Kio's thoughts first because I got a lot to say about this. But Kia, what do you think? I mean, as someone who obviously loves Skyrim so much, what do you think about an Elder Scrolls 6?
I think people have an itch now, and I think they will be trying to push it out as soon as they can.
Yeah.
So, like even talking to somebody at work today, they're like, "I just played Oblivion, and now I'm back on Skyrim. Why would you not capitalize on that? They're getting people back in. Itch is there.
It's true.
So they can do it. I mean, I'm sure they can. So when? I don't know, but I mean, now that they
are going to do it, right? It is coming out. Like, there's no world in which they don't make Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah. And like with them gearing up the PlayStation releases, they don't have to worry about that anymore, about exclusivity, right?
Yep.
So it's all teeing up pretty well. And the Bethesda games are the ones that are multi-platform predominantly.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't. We might see a lot quicker. I think a better
You
reveal.
wouldn't shadow drop Oblivion, not to test the waters a bit.
You know what? I 100% agree. And I 100% agree with Keo as well, right? I played through Oblivion, I finished it, and I was like, man, I had forgotten how fucking good Oblivion was. Like, I had such a good time going back and playing it. And I'm like, and I nearly fired up Skyrim again because I have the Legendary Edition. It's got a whole new achievement list that I need to do, and I haven't played it. I bought it for Alison because I know she's a big fan of Skyrim, and I was like, oh, I could get back into Elder Scrolls. And so yeah, I think Elder Scrolls 6, like the document we're looking at says revealed in 2018. I think is a little bit disingenuous, right? Like it very much, to me at least, because I remember watching
that was the true PNG.
It was a little
it was.
And to be fair, they announced it the same time they showed off like one of the first trailers for Starfield, and they were super clear that they were like it's there. We've got the fucking trademark. We'll work on it. Please stop fucking asking us if we're making it. Like,
when was
speaking of PNGs?
Yeah,
I was going to say, when was that acquisition?
Acquisition was what, 2021? No, it was before COVID, so it was would have been 2019 probably.
Jeez.
I was gonna say, because like I remember this happened because they showed it off at the Bethesda showcase, so it was before they got combined. Because I remember, Todd Howard came out in his fucking jacket and talked about it.
Also, remember the pre-acquisition too. They were struggling for money. They wanted to be acquired.
Oh yeah, no, I mean obviously, ZeniMax were shopping them around. Otherwise, it wouldn't have happened, right?
So it would 100% make sense of Skyrim and that's one of our biggest games. Let's get the ball rolling on this. Like this could have been easily worked on. And
well, like I said, like they were very much like the rhythm was, we do Skyrim, Fallout, Starfield, Elder Scrolls, new Fallout, and like they're just like, we're doing the cycle within Bethesda Studios at least, and so like we are due. We're due for an Elder Scrolls. To be fair,
I reckon we're gonna get a multi-platform reveal for Starfield.
Yep,
and then Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right. Actually, I think that makes a lot of sense.
It'd be Game of the Year edition for Starfield. Not Game of the Year edition, complete
edition with the DLC. Yeah. When
they need to do something to win back fans though after Shadowless Edge.
Well, they were going to do yearly iterations on some of the content.
Yeah, they were, which I think they are doing another DLC pack. Again, actually, this would be a good place to talk about it. So that probably makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Contraband.
Yeah, that's more vaporware than Everwild at this point. Like we saw nothing about that game.
So, Contraband, if I have their own thing coming up, they might be showing it off.
Sorry, what was that?
Contraband?
Yeah, so Contraband was that one. It was like Avalanche was working on it, I think. And we saw that trailer of a guy working under a Jeep or something.
Avalanche. Right.
I think it was
thought it was IO for some reason.
No, I think it was Avalanche. Again, it's been fucking...
otherwise
it's definitely Avalanche. Yeah,
but it got announced like during COVID. And I think it is one of those games that's they're just going to gloss over and just it's not happening.
Xbox page on it has like nothing other than logo.
Yeah, like they very much were like, stay tuned, and then we stayed tuned and nothing came up. So I think that game is probably gone.
I don't know. I'm sure they're still working on it, but
maybe. But even then, I don't know. Like,
really,
I'd like to be surprised because it seemed like an interesting idea. But again, it was like we saw nothing.
They showed this off in 2021 too, which, correct me if I'm wrong, it was either 21, 22 was the year that they seemed a bit desperate to be showing.
Yes, 100%. Like they were showing a lot of stuff because again, it was COVID, right? So it was the whole thing where like development got slowed down a lot, release dates got pushed out, and they were kind of showing stuff that was earlier than probably usually intended.
Is there anything else that we want to touch on the contraband? I want to get into speculation
Yeah,
stuff.
let's get into the speculation piece.
Yeah.
All right. Game from Double Fine.
Well, apparently Double Fine might be working on 2 games, maybe. There's a couple. I saw a couple of rumors around well, I know Double Fine themselves are working on a couple of things. Whether they're like, again, what kind of state they're in, who knows? Whether it's like production, pre-production, who the fuck knows?
It's Brutal Legend again, yeah?
Yeah,
Wasn't that
that's
the
got to be it.
April
Yeah,
Fool's joke? That's a-
they're doing another Brutal Legend. I mean, I'd be down.
I mean, they took pure. What's the right word? They took control of the April Fool stuff and just went.
Yeah, they
crazy.
did.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't do that unless you wanted to start building some hype up for your next project.
Well,
right?
I mean, it wasn't them though. That revealed
No, it was
that,
a different. Yeah, it was a different website.
It was actually they had to pull it back and be like, "No, guys, this isn't us." So
Yeah. They had to come out and state it.
Yeah, but I thought they were all just making jokes about their stuff and then to build,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so. But I don't. Yeah.
Unless it was a
Maybe I
double
remember.
bluff. Double Fine's double
I mean,
bluff. They pull it back on.
To be fair, I feel like
April
Double
Fool's.
Fine will come out and be like, "Yeah, we're doing a cool
Yeah.
thing. You'll be interested." Tim Schafer loves getting on camera and doing some fun stuff. Like, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, like I know they said they're not doing it right, but they need to do a Psychonauts remake. Like they have the engine from the second game. The first game is so fucking good. Like it deserves that treatment to kind of get remade into a way that's actually playable in today.
And honestly, they should probably find a way to port over the PSVR game that bridges the first and the second.
Yeah, which I hear is like really, really good. Yeah, people like
It is.
that quite a bit.
Yeah.
But in terms of what they're working on, like I'm their day one for most Double Fine stuff. You know, like they've between was it they did the Headlander was that weird one that they worked on, stacking. I'm trying to remember what else they've done, but yeah, 100%. I love everything Double Fine looks at. They just do great work, and Psychonauts 2 was a fucking phenomenal game.
All I ask is I want Tim Schafer to just show it off.
Well, to be fair, he's the one who would do it. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but I don't want Xbox if there's any studio that Xbox owns that I think of as the most indie, I think of Double Fine.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
I want Tim Schafer's got Day of the Dev stuff like that as well.
Which is To be fair, that's the kind of thing where you reveal it at the showcase, the Xbox showcase, and then you do Day of the Devs or whatever to do a deep dive into chatting with them around what it is. Oh yeah, Costume Quest. I'm looking through all these games they've made. I was like, oh yeah, some great fucking stuff in here. Yeah, Iron Brigade, The Cave, Stacking, Brutal Legend. Yeah.
They just know how to make an original game.
Yeah, they really do.
All right, moving along. Game from it's got free for free here, but now it's Halo Studios, which is rumored to be the Halo 1 remake with another game in the works.
Yeah, a new Halo
we already
game.
know about that.
We know they're doing another Halo. They've basically come out and said it without saying it, right? They
Yeah.
showed off that environmental stuff they're doing with Unreal Engine. Yeah, makes perfect sense. Of course, they'll be working on a new Halo. They renamed themselves Halo Studios. They're making a new Halo game. The Halo 1 remake is one of the things we've talked about a lot. It would make a huge amount of sense now that the multi-platform thing's happening and it's doing well for them to go, yeah, we'll do a Halo 1 remake and we'll put it out everywhere.
Like I was saying last night, the new strategy is basically let's release everywhere, but then Game Pass will get the day one access kind of stuff.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, I'm interested in Halo. I have not played Infinite. I will fully admit, I just kind of fell off the bandwagon there. But I have played basically every other Halo game they've ever made. So, yeah.
The achievements would come back online for 2 on PC.
Mm,
We need to finish Halo Wars 2. Anyway,
we do.
a game from Mojang, which I'm 99% sure is going to be Minecraft Dungeons 2. That's been heavily rumored for a while, but then there's also 2 unannounced games.
Yeah, I would really like to see, I've said this before, a Shadow of the Colossus Minecraft game.
Oh, that's a great
Like
idea.
where you're just like on the back of these giant Minecraft things. And you get to do like a whole bunch of stuff. So
Hacking away at it and blocks come off it and shit. Yeah, that sounds fucking
totally.
awesome.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah, do you guys play Minecraft Dungeons? I just was like, it looked apparently it was like kind of just very very simple Diablo style game. So I was like, okay, I kind of gave it a miss.
Yeah, it's essentially kids' first Diablo. Like, it's
Yeah,
fun.
it can get tough if you're trying to do some of the achievements by yourself. But yeah, overall, yeah, it's still really fun to just cruise through and just play. And it's like loot, upgrade your stuff, kind of, monotonous stuff that you get from a Diablo game, kind of. But yeah, it's still fun. Really, really good level design, I think, in this.
I liked Minecraft Legends quite a bit. Like, it wasn't an amazing game, but I think it was a fun little co-op experience and like a bit of a change from what you'd expect from the Minecraft and Minecraft Dungeon Studio. So yeah, keen to see what they're working on.
This is the other thing that sucks about Minecraft though is I really enjoy Minecraft Legends, but it doesn't have the monetization that something like Dungeons or now. Have you installed Minecraft lately? The amount of monetization that is now involved is just crazy.
Yeah, which is not
like
surprising.
it feels predatory now. So
I mean, it is a very like it is essentially a live service game, right? In so many ways, in terms of like constant updates, constant new stuff, new events, new fun things to do, and yeah, new skins and all that kind of stuff. Like it is, yeah, it's a real cash cow for Microsoft considering what they paid for it.
So we can say Ninja Theory, Project Mara, which I don't know if we know that much about.
Not a huge amount. We know it's some sort of like psychological kind of interesting. They talked a little bit about it before Hellblade 2 came out. So wouldn't be surprising if we heard maybe a little bit more about it, but I don't think it's going to be anywhere near release.
It'd be like an art piece kind of gaming.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be another smaller project, I think. Third person, I think, using some of the same tech. But I think we saw a little bit about it in terms of like, I think they showed off like a couple of maybe screenshots, like a very like early concept video stuff. But
yeah, and I think there is like the Hellblade 2 is getting like a new edition.
They're bringing it to PlayStation. Yeah, so
the PlayStation reveal. Yeah,
yeah.
The release. Yeah.
I mean, I'm interested because like I just kind of like what Ninja Theory do as a studio, even if like Hellblade 2 was an interesting game, even if it didn't hit quite perfectly for me in terms of what I wanted from it. I'm always going to be there to see kind of what interesting stuff they do with technology and storytelling.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. They sold you more on the tech behind Hellblade 2 than the actual game.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I'm gonna breeze through some of these. So Forza Horizon 6. Yeah. I'm really struggling to think where would 6 be set other than Japan.
The rumor is Japan, yeah, but that's based on fucking nothing. I think it's just people being like Japan would be cool, and everyone's like, yeah, that'd be cool. Let's do it. But I think they said the same thing before 5 came out. Everyone was like, Japan is definitely Japan, right?
I think like either Asia or Africa or something would be interesting, but like I don't see how that would work.
Yeah.
I can see Asia working, but not so much Africa.
Yeah.
Or you just do like a Forza Horizon World kind of thing.
Well, that is the other option, right? But I don't think they wanted... Well, maybe they do, considering how they've kind of moved Forza Horizon 5 to be more of a platform for everything as opposed to just we do 3 in Australia, and then we do 4, and then we do 5. It's like, well, 5 has been here for quite a long time now, and they just keep updating it. And they don't seem to be slowing down.
But Motorsport kind of moved on to be a platform.
A little bit.
At the same time.
But also...
It feels like there's not that much behind Motorsport now.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it did super well either. No one's talking about it.
Yeah. Other than like a few accessibility awards, that kind of stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, cruising the USA kind of ending where we just get moon level.
Yeah, that's sure. I'm fine with that.
Set the whole thing in space.
Space cars, I'll play that.
Starfield, Forza Horizon crossover. That's what we need. All right, so I'm just going to quickly go for these other ones. Breathline, rumored Wu-Tang action RPG. Stop me if you want to talk about any of them.
No, that's all good.
IO, right? Wait. Is that,
I have no idea what that
is that
is.
IO or is that different? Yeah, some fantasy RPG. Sun Affinity doesn't have any info. ZeniMax doesn't have any info. Blizzard don't have any info. Some games that we probably won't hear about for a while is Toy for Bob's.
Yeah, the rumor was they're working on a
Spyro.
Spyro, right? That was the
Yeah.
but they're probably still really early.
And the
on.
branding's pretty, yeah.
Yeah.
Elsewhere Entertainment's game. What is Elsewhere Entertainment?
I have no idea.
Other than that, Fallout 5, Fallout 3 Remaster.
Fallout 3 Remaster
Man, with
sounds
how
like
well Oblivion did.
yeah. I was gonna say they're probably not this year because they probably have enough for this year. But I would say announcing it to come out next year, unless they're going to shadow drop it again. Like, but again, I don't know if they want to do the same thing twice.
Elsewhere Entertainment was the one that Activision made a year ago.
Oh, okay.
They'll work on a new franchise.
Interesting. Okay.
Interesting. That'd be too early. Yeah, Fallout 5, Fallout 3 remasters.
Fallout 3 Remaster would make sense to tie in with Season 2 of Fallout, maybe, but that's the only thing I could
I would 100% guarantee some Fallout news there, whether it is a 76 update, a remaster of 3, or 5. 5 is the least likely.
Yeah,
but
because 5's not
we'll
happening. Todd's come out and said 5's not happening until like 2030 because they're doing Elder Scrolls first. So that's not happening.
Well, I mean, New Vegas.
Yeah, to be fair, like
Really?
yeah, I was going to say like that's true. Like there is always the opportunity
going
that
to.
someone takes the Fallout
Yeah.
license, someone other studio like Obsidian does like a different thing a Fallout take. But in terms of like Bethesda studios, yeah.
10's game, World Ages game. Give me Age of Empires 5. Will it into existence?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
We
Actually,
might
you know
see-
what? You know what?
Yep.
I'll get 2 done, and then it'll just, then
We
I'll
might
know.
see the DLC for Indie.
Could do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
that's a good shout. Yeah, definitely. We could definitely see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised considering how well it did, and they've been talking a lot about the fact they're doing it. Whether they'll have anything to show, probably not, because it's probably too early. But yeah, it's a good shout.
Game and Panache Digital's game, which I don't know anything about.
Panache? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Upcoming DLC, Starfield and Indiana Jones.
Starfield, I think, is a lock. They're 100% going to talk about the Starfield DLC. Like, why wouldn't they?
It will be PS5 announcement. It will be DLC and then coming soon on PS5 as well.
Yeah.
And I think the more interesting case now is like what of these games is going to come to Switch 2.
As many of them as they can make work on it.
Yeah.
Like, I think Indiana Jones might be one. Wouldn't surprise me. Starfield would make a lot of sense. Starfield is a slightly older game now. And the
Just gonna
Switch.
quickly breeze through the live service games, and you tell me if there's anything that you want to talk about.
Sure.
Minecraft, Fallout 76, Sea of Thieves, Forza Horizon 5, Halo Infinite, Elder Scrolls Online, Flight Sim 24, COD, Black Ops 6, Forza Motorsport, Age of Mythology, Age of Empires 2 and 4,
Yep.
Overwatch 2, World of Warcraft, Diablo 4, Hearthstone, Candy Crush, Aria History Untold, and Towerborn. I would 100% love them to use the opportunity on the Xbox Showcase to be like, we're bringing out an update to Candy Crush.
Yeah, probably
We're
not.
bringing out Candy Crush 2.
Candy Crush 2, yeah, exactly. I think they'll probably do. They might talk a little bit about Warcraft. Wouldn't surprise me. You know, there's always been rumors around like what's happening with that series in terms of like that integration into Microsoft. But otherwise, I think it'll be, you know, they'll show off a new Elder Scrolls Online expansion. They always do. Fallout 76 will probably be the same. They'll do a quick one there. But I don't think there'll be any major source. They might talk about the new Diablo 4 expansion, but they did say it's still far away. Pretty, like, not till next year, I think is what they said.
I was just thinking like whether we can update like Vessel of Hatred's trailer.
Yeah, which I think, they might do something along those lines. Or at least
Season whatever update. Yeah.
Yeah, give us a name for the new thing, even if they don't show much about it. I think Aria History Untold is coming to consoles as well, so maybe they'll use an opportunity to announce that. But yeah, I don't think there'll be any major surprises in that group. There'll be probably a new Sea of Thieves expansion because they just, that game just makes money hand over fist for them.
Yep. I'm wondering what they could do with Sea of Thieves now. They've done like so much already with it.
They've kind of done all the pirate things, right? They did Pirates of the Caribbean, and they did Monkey Island.
Yeah, I think they're kind of done with licensed stuff now with that.
Yeah.
So I don't think they'll pursue any others. So
I don't know what else you could do to Sea of Thieves to improve it now, though.
I mean, just more content, right? New things to do.
Besides fixing the achievements.
Well, yeah, exactly. Anything but that, apparently. Yeah.
Sad here.
Yeah, so someone in the comments of this is like, yeah, secret port of WoW to consoles. Like, they've talked about it as a possibility. So I guess we'll see. But yeah. Oh yeah, it was also about like Avowed DLC. I don't think it's probably too early to talk about that, but I know they are working on some. But yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what happens over the next couple of days. I feel like a lot of the stuff is just kind of, there's going to be too much for them to talk about, so I feel like a lot of it's going to be just left out. But
yeah,
I'm wondering if we get like, I mean, it's getting to the point where I wouldn't be surprised if we got more than just like a January kind of showcase. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, because they
like the January and the June
ones. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah. Well, you also got to remember they also have Game Awards in the end of the year as well. So that, like, if they got trailers and things they want to show off, exactly. Like there are other things where they can show off stuff, and they want to try and keep a little bit of their powder dry for like Tokyo Game Show and all that, fucking Gamescom and all that other shit. So yeah, for sure. And I think it was something I mentioned last year. Moon's on. Very, very funny. Sea of Thieves update with the sea is actually just thieves. Yeah, exactly. I remember we talked about this last year where it was like there was some Xbox stuff shown at Summer Games Fest and then some of it shown at the Xbox Showcase. And it was always interesting to me, like, how do they decide? How do they decide that, like, Jeff Keighley needs to talk about this one, but we'll talk about this one? Is it like we got some good synergy going, or there's like we got a really good trailer we want to get more eyes on? Because more people are probably going to watch the Summer Games Fest Showcase than the Xbox One, probably, right? Because it's more general. And Jeff Keighley obviously has this kind of like, big production stuff going on.
So I'm curious to know your thoughts about this as well, both of you. Silksong has had 3 or 4 Steam updates in the back end.
Oh, mate.
In the last 4 days.
Just keep huffing that hopium, mate. Just one of these days. One of these days it'll be true.
Is it going to be shadow dropped?
No.
At the Video Game Award?
No way.
Sorry, not the Video Game Award.
Summer Games Fest.
Summer Games Fest or the Xbox Showcase?
No, they're not gonna shadow drop that game. They will have a big marketing push to have that game coming out. There's no way. Look, it might be coming out soon, but there's no way it's coming out at the same fucking time. Like, there's too much other shit that they want to push. Like, if they're like, hey, it's coming out end of July, beginning of August, would make perfect sense to me.
If I was a betting man, and for the sake of this podcast, I will be. Xbox Game Pass was announced 4 years ago for Silksong.
Yep.
I imagine we've had a few cases of games being delayed, considerable timeline shifting, and then they're still coming to Game Pass. Stalker being...
Oh, yeah, no, it's still coming to Game Pass, for sure. I agree.
With the state of how strong Game Pass has been this year, like, they are not fucking around.
True.
Like, even just the June stuff, right? Warhammer, the remaster.
Which we'll go through right after this, actually.
Day one.
Yeah, there's some really big stuff on there.
Yeah, right, yeah.
I think people will lose their minds if they shadow drop Silksong into Game Pass as a day one out of nowhere for the showcase.
It is going to be day one Game Pass, I will admit, but I just don't think they're going to shadow
it. It will 100% be day one Game Pass. I could 100% see them being like, it's out today or it's out sometime within the month.
Sure. Okay. Well, that's 2 very different things, Cameron. It's going to be because that's okay. One of them's a shadow drop. One of them is a fucking a release announcement. So you got to pick.
Very, very close to the
within the week, within the week of the conference.
Okay, I'm gonna hedge my bets and I'll say it will be either at the showcase or within a week.
Okay,
And
that's
then it'll
fine.
be-
All right, if
it'll
it's
be fucking
outside of the
8 or
week,
9 days out.
if it's outside of the week, we're going to have to come up with a punishment for you. So I'm just letting you know now that's what's happening. Now that we're recording this, everyone's seen it. You've said it. We're getting the bingo card out.
You've seen my diet lately.
Yeah, exactly.
You
Yeah,
know what?
that's true. You're already
regular
torturing
Yeah.
yourself. So
Yeah, I'm already thinking diet-related punishments.
yeah, exactly.
In order
Yeah,
for this.
that's yeah.
Don't speak too
I'll
soon.
have you know I eat 1,200 calories a day.
Not this
I
week,
can't
buddy.
eat much worse.
How do you feel about California Reaper wings?
Actually, okay. This another tangent.
Yeah,
Tangent.
no surprise there.
So I was listening to another podcast today. Did you know there's a rumor going on Reddit that I don't think it's the Nando's salsa, but it's one of the brand salsa. The medium is actually hotter than the hot.
Really interesting.
And then it led me down the rabbit hole of like, how would anybody actually know that? Because like you have your preference, right? You go out to the store, you get your mild, you get your medium, you get your hot. It's not like I feel adventurous. I'm gonna get 3 different types of salsa tonight. Like,
Oh, I mean, you have a party and you put out a variety of
that's the only
sauces.
time I see this happening.
100%. But like you can measure, like you've heard of the Scoville scale, right? Like you can measure the hotness of peppers. Like there is a measurement form for it. So you could just measure each of the sauces and figure it out.
There is a measurement for it, but I was talking to Nikita about it before. I'm just like, what is the possibility of my my sensitivity to
Oh, sure.
spice
Yeah.
can be different than yours?
Yeah, like as I've gotten older, my sensitivity to spice has gotten really, really bad, unfortunately, which is a shame because I love spicy food.
Yeah.
On
It's a party on the way in and it's a party on the way out.
Fucking tell me about it. Yep. Yep. There's a someone I used to know used to go to I think it was a Thai place. It was called a Volcano. And it was like it was great advertising because that's the sound my ass made when it just all came out afterwards. It was just like, it was bad. I was like, oh, good to know. So I never ate there.
I thought of my punishment.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't,
Mm-hmm.
I will eat a chicken wing
One chicken wing.
after the wedding. After the wedding.
All right. Yeah.
So then use around me, and then I have proof
Yep.
using the last dab.
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah. I think that sounds good. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see how this
And to
goes.
top that, I will try and complete the original Hollow Knight.
That would be interesting. I'd love to see. I'd love to get your play-by-play on that because I also need to do it at some stage.
I mean, I've done Cuphead, and I basically got you.
That's true. You did get me to play Cuphead. That is true. But I think Hollow Knight will be an interesting challenge. But it is also one of the best games ever made. So, oh no. But yeah, I think oh no.
Me fully supporting an Australian studio with their award-winning game. Oh no.
But yeah, I think
Man, the day after my wedding, I'm just gonna be wrecked, aren't I?
Yeah, I'm just in.
He had too much to drink. No, he had
it's like, man, he lost a bet, so Game Pass updates. I'll just quickly flick through them because we're running a little long. We had Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 Enhanced Edition just as a surprise drop like yesterday, so that's interesting. So I'm going to have a look at those, but those are big completions. Back when BioWare used to make good games. June 10th, as Cameron was saying, we've got Warhammer Space Marine, the original version that they're doing a master-crafted like edition, like a remaster. Really, really cool. Great. Coming to Game Pass day one. I'll have a look at the achievement list to make sure. Well, I'm curious if it still has that horde mode bullshit in it, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does because the chaos stuff is included.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Right.
I know have been discussing for the last. Well, Kiyu owns it, I'm pretty sure, but we've discussed buying the Space Marine 2.
Yes.
Gold edition.
It's on sale at the moment for 40% off, or 30%.
100%. I'm going to call it. We'll buy it, and then it'll be in Game Pass.
Oh, 100. It's coming to Game Pass. 100%. Yeah. There's no way. Like it's too
I'm
good.
just going to hold off, and then 3 years down the line, I'll buy it.
Exactly. One of us has to jump on the grenade for that one. June 11th, we have Barbie Project Friendship. So looking forward to that one. That's probably going to be
first
my next
Barbie game into Game Pass.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, so that's going to be probably my next milestone game because I'm only about 17k away from it. Kingdom 2 Crowns is coming back to Game Pass. And then June 12th, we have EA Sports FC 2015, which is interesting. And well, I guess that's EA Play, so I suppose that's to be expected. June 13th, The Alters is finally coming out after many, many delays. Very curious to hear what the thoughts are on that one. I love the idea of the whole cloning thing and the weird kind of management piece, but I'm wondering if it's actually fun to play. Like it's interesting concept. What's the game? Like what's the hook? And then June 17th. Yes.
I was gonna say, does the hook actually sell it, or is it just simply a very narrative thin hook to
a really kind of just like a management game? Yeah, exactly. Like because like management games are not really my kind of thing. They kind of bore the shit out of me. And then June 17th we have FBC Firebreak, which we talked about. Crash Bandicoot 4 is coming. So another Activision game. And Lost in Random: The Eternal Die, which is their roguelite spin-off of that series. The achievements just got released on TA, so if you want to check them out, apparently they're looking a little difficult. Yeah. There's some like no hit damage stuff and a few other bits and pieces, but yeah, quite a big list for the next few weeks. They just, like you said, Cameron, Game Pass seems to be going from strength to strength.
Yeah, it looks like Zenless Zone Zero is another thing based on the TA.
Oh right, that's free to play, I think, right? So that's
So,
I
guess it
gacha
is,
game, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the stuff leaving, we've got Dordan, Hypnospace Outlaw, Izono, My Time at Sandrock, Rolling Hills Make Sushi Make Friends, Keplerth, and Depersonalization. So those last two are just Windows games. If I was going to recommend any, I'd say Dordan is very easy to do. It's pretty straightforward, beautiful art style, really, really dull game. But yeah, and then Rolling Hills Make Sushi Make Friends is just kind of like a nice, easy kind of little management game that's kind of fun and cute.
That last achievement though, it doesn't need.
It does grind. It's a little bit of a grind, but it's not that bad compared to some of the other shit that we play.
I don't know. Did I unlock an achievement in that?
And Hypnospace Outlaw is really cool. Again, it's been in Game Pass a couple of times, I think, so it may come back. You never know, but really cool. Like, especially if you grew up on the internet in the 90s.
Actually, interesting that both their titles are leaving Game Pass this month.
Yeah, it is. I guess maybe
because wasn't it Hypnospace and Slayers?
Slayers was last week. Yeah, last. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Patreon.com/HoloGamers. Huge thank you to Lee Howard, Mikhail KV, and Toland, Matt, Admiral Awesome, Happy Moogles, Kung Fu Skills, Hack and Pone, Cavaliers07, Old Mate Clown, Mace J, Left Legacy, and McNulty. These are guys who help support the show by doing monthly donations. So if you want to help support the show, we'd really greatly appreciate it. We literally just reinvest all of it. To be honest, it's not a lot. It's really just to pay for hosting and stuff, so we can keep our podcast up, so they don't get pulled down, and you can kind of always have access to the old episodes.
I was gonna say, just speaking to the patrons for a second. Then we also recorded like a little half an hour thing before the show where we're going to do like a central topic.
Yeah.
It was using somebody's fiance to orchestrate a threesome.
Yeah,
your own fiance.
That is technically one of the things we talked about. Yes, if you're not a Patreon, like Cameron said, we do a little bit like before and sometimes an after show depending on timings around like an interesting topic or just kind of just bullshitting and stuff. But yes, we're going to try and make that more of like a real thing as opposed to just something I happen to record. So we make sure that all of our content is available for all of our Patrons, no matter what level you're paying at. So whether you pay $2, $10, $200, like whatever, like we just want to make sure that we're giving a little bit back to you guys, so you feel like you're not just throwing money at us for no reason. We also do a show called Lights, Camera, and Action, which is our video game movie podcast, and so we watch movies. We do a little bit beforehand where we talk about like our history with the games and kind of what we know about the movie. Go away and watch it, come back and do a bit of a review, talk about the scenes, that kind of stuff. We're currently in the middle of doing Sonic 3, so we've recorded the first part of that. We're going to go away and watch it and probably record the next bit this week. We try and do like one of those a month. We're trying to get back into it most recently. We've got a big list of game movies to watch, so don't worry, we're not going to run out. And they've been getting better lately. There's actually been some pretty good ones recently. But yeah, so yeah, if you want to help support the show, please do. We really appreciate it. And you'll get a shout out on the show. We've also got a special channel on our Discord for our patrons as well. Not that we do a huge amount in there, but if you have any feedback or anything you want to see more of, that's the place to do it. We've also got our monthly theme, the Biomaterial Burden, which is every 2 months we come up with a bit of a theme of getting people together to play different types of games. For May and June, it's been Blind Leading the Blind, which is playing games where you can order your AI and teammates to do stuff. So like RTSs and tactics games, and a game that I'm playing this week as well, like that kind of stuff. Curious to hear, if you're playing your XComs and that sort of stuff, and some RPGs depending on how they work.
Yeah.
So yeah, let us know what you're playing. Let us know what you're completing. Let us know what you're struggling with, and if you want ideas, we've all played so many fucking games. There's plenty of them that we think would fit into that category quite nicely. All right, now speaking of what we've been playing, I will go first because I have next to nothing. I have been playing more of Assassin's Creed Odyssey and having a really fucking good time with it. I will admit, I was fully scared off by like the amount of grind that's involved, or the amount of time investment that game requires. But I am just kind of going through the story at the moment. I know the grind and doing all the bullshit will hit me eventually. But so far, I'm I think I just finished like episode 3 of like 9. I'm having a really good time with it. It's really compelling. I like the story. I love the Templar stuff. I like the kind of, precursor civilization and obviously, like Cameron, I'm a big like Greek history and mythology buff. So it's cool seeing all that kind of stuff. Meeting like Herodotus, for example, was like fucking mind blowing. Yeah. So I'm really enjoying it. I'll talk more about it as I probably get further into it, but it is kind of my like working on game when I don't have anything else to play.
I'm curious whether your thoughts from Mantis System when you get to the DLC.
Yeah, right, because I also have the DLC to do with James.
Yeah, I feel like the DLC takes the piss a little bit compared to the main game. The main game is a really good story.
Gotcha. And then the other thing, it was on sale this week. I picked up the Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster, which is like a remaster of the very first Dead Rising game, with a lot of nice quality of life improvements, like better controls, new graphics, like health bars on your weapons, so you know what the durability is, improved survivor AI. Like they've actually done a fair amount of work to it. Still very much feels like the old game, but they've kind of they've used the new RE engine on it, and they've kind of flexed their muscles a bit. Really feels like they're setting up for a new Dead Rising game. Like it feels like, oh, like you guys put a lot of work, quite a bit of work into this, and it looks good and it plays well. Like, are you guys just using this as like a test bed to do another a new Dead Rising 5 or whatever? Like, I'd be about it. That sounds great. But yeah, having a good time with it.
Do you think they would go 5? I feel like that. Okay. Capcom has been doing really well.
They have been doing well, yes.
For like the late 10s, and then
I'll say the last sort of 5 or 6 years, sort of yeah, since pre-COVID.
Dead Rising 4 was an absolute mess.
Yeah,
it closed.
Yeah, Blue Castle. Yeah, they kind of ended them.
I can see them redoing 2.
Yeah, redoing 2 would make a lot of sense. Yeah, 100%.
Whether they do 2 as like a bundle kind of thing, or whether they do 2 and then they do all the separate stuff.
I don't know. I think they'll just do the base game for 2 probably.
I could see them redoing 3. I cannot see them doing redoing.
I don't know if they'd redo 3, to be honest. I don't know. Maybe, but
yeah, 3's kind of that point of like it's recent
enough. I mean, like, yeah, it's not because it was an Xbox One launch title, but it is still within that generation. Whereas like Dead Rising 1 was a 360 near launch game, which is crazy to think about. Like it was a game that if you didn't have an HD TV, you couldn't fucking read what was on the screen because it was just in that transition period.
3 is the one that's just stuck on the Xbox One platform.
That's true. That's true.
So, yeah, it really could use a bit of a bump. So.
Yeah, but I could definitely see them.
Who's my favorite one of them?
Insane opinion, but sure.
It was also the first one I played. So.
Yeah, well, that's usually what happens. Yeah, so I'm playing through one. So I'm playing through 1 again. The achievements are very similar, but like I'm having a good time with it. Like it is very much that. If you've never played a Dead Rising game before, it's probably a good place to start because it has like the simplest mechanics, and they've also had like a casual mode to make it like a slightly easier experience. It has like auto saves as well. Like they've brought a lot of the like quality of life features from the later games into the newer one. So yeah, works perfect. But that's literally all I've had time to play, basically. Like, it's just like those 2 things, because I've just been so busy with work and other bits and pieces, and occasionally playing The Division with you guys. So, Kia, what have you been working on?
Yeah, so in my sick stupor over the last week or so, I've been just kind of doing a couple of random things. I managed to get an Xbox Series console this week. So I'm back in the game. It's good. I managed to, on the last day of X Defiant being up, I got all the achievements I could except for the rank 50. I'm only like rank 22, and the MVP, which even though I was like in the top 4 or 5 people in all of the, it was the same people playing the game over and over again, right? On the last day or so, like of it shutting down, I still didn't get any MVP. So, but it was good. 11 out of 13 achievements, so that was nice to tie up. I'll go through all the stuff that I'm doing just to knock it out, but I recently did the 360 full auto multiplayer with Jester, and also went back to Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on the 360, which was an interesting one to go back to.
Yeah.
So, it holds up pretty well for like an older game, but it's really good that they're starting to put a lot more of those Marvel games back in the fighting game scene. Like there was also the PlayStation like announcement for like a 4v4 fighting game too. So now I'm like, interesting. Like Marvel stuff's kind of coming back. So
yeah, they're doing a collaboration with like Arc System Works, right? But that looks really
yes, exactly.
Beautiful
and they
art
make
style.
really good games. So yeah, their own unique art style for the characters too. So which is good. I tried out that Retro Classics game.
Oh yeah.
The Xbox One got a lot of the achievements in that, and I fooled around with the leaderboard stuff. The leaderboard one in particular, where you just need to get top 50 on any of the leaderboard stuff, is actually not that terrible at the moment. I ended up doing it on River Raid 2, and I got it within a few tries. The other one though is a weekly thing. It rotates every week. You have to do a specific like endurance challenge or something like that. So a very specific challenge on a different game every week. So it'll be, I think you'll have better chances of getting that if there's a drop off of players.
Sure.
Just over time, right? So because everyone's cramming to get it at the start, there was nearly 200,000 people I think that played it.
Jesus.
The challenge or something. But very little of those on True Achievements. But I think like 35 of the top 50 were maybe on True Achievements. I think, which is pretty good. So, so the people going for the achievements, eventually it'll taper down. It'll be the hardcores, and you might have a chance just to get the highest score or something to get in that top 50. Not too bad. I also did started the DLC for Star Wars Outlaws, the new one, the Pirates.
Oh, with Hondo. Yeah.
And Bounty or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Hondo is like a really endearing pirate.
He's fucking hilarious.
So
Yeah, I love Hondo.
So anyone that doesn't know Hondo, he's appeared in a lot of the Star Wars content, like Clone Wars and Rebels shows and stuff like that. I don't know if there's any video game appearances though.
I think this might be his first video game appearance. He is also, if you go to Galaxy's Edge in at Disney World, he has his own little like part of a ride that he does. The Smuggler's Run ride, which is fantastic.
But the story content is quite good. There's quite a lot of it too. So if you're just playing through it as a campaign, then like it's nice story addition to the game. I think a lot more so than the last one with the cards. But I'm about halfway through it just because I haven't popped it back in to finish it off. But it's one of those things where I hadn't quite got my console back. And I got Ubi Plus to start the Division 2 content, the new release, the Battle for Brooklyn, but I haven't started that either. But I've been trying to knock out that story, and I was trying to stream it on my phone just over nighttime or something, just to kind of knock out a bit at a time. So not quite there yet, but I really like the story content. It's good. So I recommend going back and trying it whenever you.
Do you think they're going to do anything more with Outlaws, or do you think they're done with it? Because I know they promised these 2 packs.
I reckon they might be done. So I think if they're going to add anything else, it'd have to be pretty substantial.
So more likely to be a sequel or something, like if they were going to do anything.
They would have to do an actual expansion or something over a over like add-ons.
Yeah,
like
a couple missions pack, yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. So I don't think they'll do any more. I think it's going to be done, especially since that team they're done with Avatar. If they're done with the Star Wars, they go back to the Division. Everyone's kind of teeing up there to kind of make that a lot bigger, especially now that they've done the expansion for Battle for Brooklyn for Division 2, right? So
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see what they've got coming next, because all of those things that they've had, they've all come out. So we don't know what's going on with
Sure.
them past this. So besides more seasonal Div 2 stuff that they promised. So the last thing I've been doing is I've been playing Monster Hunter World. And
yeah,
that
right.
has been a fun ride, I think. So it's Monster Hunter is always that kind of thing. It's like your first Monster Hunter, you jump in, you try to play it, you're like, what the fuck is going on? And then you stop playing it. But I think I've really come back strong with this one, and I've kind of just jumped in and really hammered it hard in terms of like learning the creatures, all this kind of stuff, and going in and just having fun with it. And this became my I'm sick for a week. What am I going to do? Just started playing something that would be just a big grind, and just spent like a good couple of days where I was feeling good enough to play games, because there's a lot of days that I couldn't, and I wasn't feeling good enough for it. That I'm just kind of like, I can sit, I can chill, no party action at all, just kind of like play on my own, and really just dug into what it means like to play Monster Hunter. And yeah, I'm really, really enjoying it, and I'm gonna keep going with it. So do as much as I can with that. So because it's like 500 hours completion or
I was
something.
going to say,
for the
yeah,
base
and
game,
that's also the
and
DLC as well.
1,000 all up with the DLC, because it's like a whole extra pack. But in terms of like upgrading the weapons, I'm not even through the story, and I think I'm nearly at the point where I've got the most I can get for an upgrade for the weapon that I've got at the moment. I'm using the twin blades,
Classic.
and I'm
yep.
finding it's just fast, it's zippy. You can jump in, jump out, do a whole bunch of stuff, and yeah, and it's really good. I prefer the faster ones, and like I think it's the decimation clause is what I'm working towards, and I like the fisticuffs kind of stuff anyway. So I'm like, great, I get a bunch of I get a couple of fists I can, but at the end of it as kind of like a reward, like really punchy stuff. So that'll be good too. But yeah, that's everything I've been doing.
Yeah, it was a good
So
list.
yeah.
Cameron, what about you?
I'll quickly just go through mine. I feel like I haven't really played that much, but looking back, I actually have. I went and got another Krav's Treasure, the New Game Plus update the other day. That was pretty good. Most of the week has been spent on the Iron Rig DLC from Dredge for participating back to your backlog for the Xbox Past. That was pretty easy. I mean, realistically, that update is more so a just get upgrades.
Get upgrades and go back to the places you've been before to do a couple of new things. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of that one, to be honest. I much preferred like the Ice Island was like a completely new biome with new fish and new kind of challenges.
It's one of those ones that if I was starting from like day one, it would be fine.
Sure.
But it's one of those kind of updates, right?
Because you do end up having to go around a lot and collect a lot of stuff, and you'd be like, okay, I kind of feel like I'm retreading around.
Is it something that you can only access after doing a certain amount of the game? Or would it be beneficial playing that as part of like a new...
the purpose of it exists as like if you were a player, like day one player, buying the completed collection.
Yeah.
Then you would be doing the Iron Rig DLC as you do the base game, and then you would go into the Pale Rig.
You'd do like an island, and then you do like maybe the oil rig part of it as well, and then you'd move on to the next island, and maybe go back to the oil rig, as opposed to just doing the oil rig and revisiting all the areas. Maybe again, the game's not that long, so it's also
Initially, the release date for the DLC was meant to be that the Iron Rig was before the Pale Ridge.
Oh, okay, which makes sense because it's
Pale Ridge because they weren't able to complete the Iron Rig in time.
Right, because I don't think Pale Ridge has any of the Iron Rig stuff in it, which makes sense.
So there was that. So I did Dredge. Then last night, I started Metal Gear Solid. I wasn't in the mood to just be... I wasn't in the right mood for it, so I'm like, this is a really good game. I don't want to kind of be in like a I don't feel like this kind of mood while I play it.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I've been interested in Pickpock, which I'm not sure if Matt's heard of before. It's a New Zealand developer that works on a lot of mobile games.
I've met them. Yeah, I've been to their studios.
You met Pickpock? Okay, cool.
Pickpock, yep. They're down in Wellington, yeah.
So I've been keeping an eye on their stuff because they're working on. I think they released an early access Into the Dead Darkest Days last month. No, actually it was April. Yeah, about a month and a half ago. Anyway. And I remembered that I had access to Ancient Intercept, which was a mobile game that they did essentially on rails, kind of, click the buttons at the right time kind of situation.
Yep.
And just played for a few levels of that. It's pretty fun. Just something simple and mindless, like, on rail shooters are. There is an achievement for completing all the levels without assist mode, and then I can basically just go back and clean it up with the assists after. Better be like 15 to 20 hour completion, but visually it's pretty good. And then the only other one I wanted to talk about was I was talking to Matt and Stubby about the Hot Wheels games last night. I really enjoyed Unleashed. As we were playing Division 2, I looked up CEX and found out that both the 360 games were actually in stock.
Yeah,
so
right.
I purchased them and they're getting sent out to me today.
Interesting.
Anyway,
I just got World's Hottest Driver, I think, as well.
Yeah, I think the other one's like
PX.
Beat That or something.
Yeah, I think I finished Beat That already. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember which one. I think I did one of them back in the day. But then it was like, I don't really want to do another one. I should look them up actually.
I really enjoyed Unleashed, and I just wanted to see like what the other.
I liked
ones
Unleashed
were
too,
like.
quite a bit. Excuse me.
Anyway, I bought the monster truck one that's retailing for like $70 physical at the moment. Oh my god!
Having a good time.
This is one of those like very sandboxy games of ride over things to destroy them whilst also doing stunts. Hit the stunt goal, hit the destruction goal, pass the level.
Yeah.
This is a kid's sandbox game.
That sounds bad, to be honest.
This is a $20 game at best. I'm glad I bought this on the sale. I still felt like I overspent for it.
Wait, is that the one done by the same guys that did the King Kong game and the... It is, isn't it? Because it's one...
so much sense.
No, I totally think it is. And the Walking Dead one, yeah.
Is it really? Yeah, okay.
Is it Kong? Yeah, because I was looking the other day.
Monster Truck.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, there you go. Yes.
Yeah, well, the same publisher, so Game Mill, right, are the ones who published
Game Mill.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, you've got it. Maybe your punishment will be get a publisher completion of Game Mill.
They only have 40 games, Cameron. You could do it.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
I'm looking for this list too. Realistically,
to be fair, having games come out from a place called Game Mill really doesn't inspire confidence in me. I gotta say, like, you might as well call your fucking place, Tedious Software or some shit, or like, God, yeah. Anyway,
like one of the games. I'm halfway there. Oh, actually, they did nerf Legends as well. And let me guess, are they discontinued? No, it's just been removed from stock.
Yeah, there you go.
And 13 people have done nerf Legends.
I do have Cartoon Network Battle Crashes in my backlog to maybe play, but I hear the game is not good. So maybe play that one and let me know.
It is interesting.
I do want to play Wrath of the Mutants.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, a lot of them are like it's all like licensed stuff.
Yeah.
Which they can churn these things out. It is nice to see a studio doing licensed stuff specifically and getting all of these things, but they really are churning them out. So
it's funny. It is 100% the PS2 licensed game of our generation.
Yeah. Back when those games were rough.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing, and just some Age of Empires in between.
It's a decent list.
Oh, and Percy started to a T on my account.
So,
we're testing some more cloud streaming.
I think it has an unattainable now or something, right? There's some issue with the most recent patch I saw, so I'm sure they'll fix it. But rough week, buddy. But yeah, I guess that's all we've been playing. Nice work, fellas. I want to play some more stuff. I have a couple of things where I'm like thinking about what I want to pick up. I picked up a sweary game, which looks really interesting, called The Missing. So I'll talk about that probably next week.
Okay.
But we also have the word challenge, everyone's favorite competition, where I pick a game and you go onto our Discord and try and guess what it is. Every week I give away a clue, and if you win, a gift pops up. And congratulations, you get to be the grand prize winner of some money, like $10 if you want it. Otherwise, it's mostly just bragging rights at this point and just showing what a smart ass you are. So first clue we gave was this is a non-numbered sequel. Second clue was this game has co-op. Third clue is this game has more than one achievement list. Now, what I mean by that is it has a stack or a remaster or like you can... Hopefully that makes sense. I couldn't find a good way of wording it, but it has more than one achievement list for this game. So
are we talking like the Kingdom Hearts collection has a drop-down list on TA of 4 different games?
No, it's more like BioShock has 5 different re-releases. So there's a Russian version. There's they've done a remaster. They've done a PC version. Like
stacks, yeah.
Stacks. I would say stacks, but I want to make sure that everyone understands what stacks means.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. That's why I wanted to define the other one as well.
It has this game has at least one stack. So, and it's not BioShock obviously because BioShock doesn't have co-op, so that's why I use that as an example. All right. So that's the word challenge. Best of luck to everyone. If you want to join our Discord, let us know. We'll get you an invite. We also have the leaderboards, which are on TA, and we check to see how much gamer score you can earn in a week. In third place this week, we have a Grey Shark with 4,897, Ozbuff Fanatic with 5,705, and Thrash Forever with 7,670. The man is slowing down just a little bit.
Yeah, but still at the tippy top.
Yep, still in that top position, but not doing the 20,000s he's usually doing. So maybe he had an off week.
Yeah.
All right, completions. Keo, do you want to read through those? There aren't that many.
Yes, I do. Not many. So Valak's done Neon White. Moonzom did Rare Replay.
Huge completion.
Splice did, Trials HD. Another tough one. And Bulbasaur did Guts and Goals. That's it.
Yeah, I want to shout out Moonzom again. Like that Rare Replay collection might be the best completion I've ever seen in my entire life. To be honest, I don't know a single person who's finished that game. Like that's crazy the amount of dedication and skill it takes to get that done.
Yeah, and we've been seeing like it slowly stack up over the weeks now. Yeah. So it's good that that's in there.
I do wonder of that, like the members of our community, if anybody in our community was meant to be known as the Age of Empires 2 guy, it would be me, right?
Sure.
Like if each of us kind of have that one game we're known for more than anything else.
Yeah, I wonder what mine would be because I don't play stuff that's difficult enough. I think I'm too trash level gamer for the most part, but I know what you mean. Let us know in the comments. Maybe that's an interesting discussion point.
Oh yeah, yes. So tell us what our typecast game is.
Exactly. Yeah. Pigeonhole us.
Yes, pigeonhole me, please.
See, I can pigeonhole Keo as a gamer because Keo was the I'm going to help everybody kind of multiplayer person.
Sure.
Matt's just a completionist, but then
that is true. But that's
if we had to pick a very like 1-to-1, like as soon as the completionist title was out the window, Shane would have you beat though.
He would. Shane does have me.
And then I don't know what I'd title you.
Shane definitely does have me beat because the man is a machine. Yeah,
but then I would also think of Shane as the dance master. So
that's true. That is true. But he can be both. To be fair, like he can, like he does his completions on his days when he's not dancing. But yeah, that's an interesting one. But I think that's pretty much going to bring us to the end of the show. As always, we do the show live on Twitch, Xbox Hall of Gamers. Thanks for people hanging out in the chat and shit posting. Moonzom in here again, crazy man. I guess anything we want to shout out? Cameron, you don't do anything these days. I don't do anything these days. Kia, what about you?
At the moment, the last thing that I did was 3 posts yesterday on Instagram.
Oh, yep, as you do. Yep. You're getting your thirst trap ready.
Only social media platform that has achievements. Hey, buddy.
Really? I don't know. I don't look. I don't have a professional account for that shit.
Fucking
So
man.
and it was just stuff like, oh, I got my Xbox back and a picture of the Wii U on Happy Switch 2 Day, shit like that. So, but yeah. So, but at Keel Live at Home, pretty much everywhere you want and where you want me, and at How to Fix Gaming on YouTube. So,
Man, the original Switch was the Switch 2. People just don't want to accept it.
Cameron, what about you? Do you have anything you want to share, or should I just cut you off now? Before
I'm just going to shout out Moonzom again because fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, I might.
That is, you know what? That is the type of completion. You go out, you get yourself a nice steak, you get a glass of white wine, and you just relax, and you just,
Yeah,
that should tee you up for Killer Instinct.
Oh, yeah, okay. Moving on before we start a fist fight. All right, well, I think that's going to wrap up episode 172. A huge thank you to our patrons, our listeners, and our watchers, and my wonderful co-hosts. As always, you can catch us on your audio platform of choice, and I put the VODs up on YouTube if you happen to miss them or you want to catch the old episodes. Also, want to give a shout out to Char, our wonderful support person who does the wonderful thumbnails every week when I remember to ask for them. But that's been episode 172. We'll catch you guys next week. Maybe, I don't know. My schedule's looking a little weird this next few weeks. So
your schedule's looking weird, and the show is probably going to start looking weirder. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I was gonna say we might even have to do an early show or something.
Maybe, yeah. Well, we might. To be fair,
actually,
yeah.
This is very on the spot, but are we doing the showcase?
Yeah. Why not? Fuck it. We'll do the showcase. I don't know how I'm going to work that with this, but we'll talk about it for sure.
Yeah, we'll work something out with it.
Yeah,
I don't know
easy.
About timing, but...
Something.
All right. Thanks for joining us. Catch you next week.
All right. Peace out.
Bye, guys.